bitches go.
We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Canceled. It's over. Finished. Finito. Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. The face-off after the weigh-in. It's a wrap. It's over. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, before we get started, sign up for ESPN Plus below using my link. It's an app. I have it. I own it. And it has a lot of great content on there. Original series, docu-series, college football, sports programming, top ranked boxing, UFC pay-per-view. Get the ESPN Plus app. You can now bundle it using my link with Hulu and Disney Plus, all three apps, $12.99 a month for all three. And I personally have all three, so you guys should enjoy it. Now, it's over. February 22nd, Wilder fights Fury in a much anticipated rematch, and the information just come down the pipeline, as you guys see. I'll link to the ESPN article. Other people are talking about it, and you guys see it. Nevada State Athletic Commission bans Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury face off after the weigh-in. So basically, things got too rowdy yesterday, and the pushing and stuff, and Bob Bennett and the Nevada State Athletic Commission, they said nope. So let me read the article. Says, Las Vegas, the Nevada State Athletic Commission has barred heavyweight world title holder Deontay the Braun Bomber Wilder. I'm so frustrated. And lineal champion, they keep putting this lineal stuff, it's funny, Tyson Fury from participating in the traditional face-off at the weigh-in on Friday ahead of their championship rematch. Wilder and Fury are scheduled to weigh in at Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time, so about 3 o'clock West Coast time if you're in California or on the West Coast states like me. Quote, the reason the decision was made on behalf of the commission is because the press conference on Wednesday spoke for itself. Nevada State Athletic Commission Executive Director Bob Bennett told ESPN on Thursday. As soon as Fury joined Wilder on stage to begin the final pre-fight news conference inside the MGM Grand Garden Arena where they will fight, ESPN Fox pay-per-view, 9 p.m., the two giants went nose to nose, and their confrontation eventually erupted into pushing and shoving, forcing security to intervene to keep them apart. Quote, the actions of the two fighters pushing each other, which was not staged, is not indicative of the image of our sport as a major league sport. Thus, having a face-off is not in the best interest in the health and safety of the fighters, the public, and the event. And quite frankly, that image where you have two professional athletes pushing each other where somebody could get hurt is not keeping with the image of a major league sport, and we're a major league sport. Bennett said he conferred with the commission chairman, whatever, Anthony, Wednesday night to tell him he wanted to cancel the face-off, and the idea was fully supported. Bennett said he spoke to Wilder promoter TGB Promotions on Wednesday and to Top Ranks Bob Arum, Fury's co-promoter, on Thursday morning, and they were both, quote, okay with it. Quote, I'm not going to put the public or the fighters in the event in harm's way because everybody's looking forward to a spectacular event, Bennett said. This decision is in the best interest of the fighters, the fans, and the event. It is an unprecedented move, but it is one that Arum said he supported. If this fight depends on a face-off to sell it, we have not done our job, Arum told ESPN. Arum says they will take pictures, just no face-off. This commission realizes because of ESPN and Fox that boxing is back as a major sport, and we're not going to F that up by having these guys push each other and fight each other at the weigh-in. It doesn't happen in the NFL or MLB baseball or the NBA where you have the athletes pushing and shoving before their contest. Boxing is now a major sport, and we will conduct ourselves like one. When Wednesday's final press conference ended, Arum on his own called off the face-off, blah, 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 because he was upset by the pushing and shoving that opened the conference. Top Ranks Todd DeBow, Aram's stepson, said he was surprised by the commission's decision. In my 25 years in boxing, I've never heard of an administrative body stepping in and prohibiting a face-off. DeBow said, it's the pinnacle moment. Before the fight, I am just shocked. That's the money shot, and not having it is frustrated. Shout out to Todd DeBow. He kept it real, bro. I agree with him. Now, my thoughts, I don't like it. You know, I understand, like, listen, we live in such a PC world. You can't do anything. You can't say, you can't say anything. Certain agendas are force-fed and forced down your throat. They're trying to make it look like the guys are going to get injured. I mean, this is boxing. Tyson Fury is 6'9", Wilder's 6'7". They're going to be punching each other in the face. Boxing is a unique sport. You can't really compare it to the NBA and NFL and all this stuff that they're trying to, because those are team sports. So yeah, I can understand the NFL, the league. They don't want colossal linebackers and linemen and stuff in a tussle, because then the whole team could jump in, and then that's melee. That's like nobody would be able to control that. This is two people, and it is what it is. I personally covered Wilder versus Brazil. There was some tension there. I think there was more tension in the Wilder Brazil, and they still did the face-off. So, what's the point of not doing it? You could keep them further away. Like, I don't really even like that when they're like super far away. That's the moment people look for, That's the moment people resonate with, seeing Floyd Mayweather and Canelo staring at each other and look, see who cuts away quicker and these different things. And now the fans are robbed of that because of the press conference stuff. And realistically, if that was the case, then they should have, in my opinion, thought ahead, like, hey, this is a press conference. We don't need you guys to do too much at the press conference, because it could, like, I put it this way. The final press conference, I didn't need to see the face-off then. But when they're both shirtless and they just weighed in and both fighters are pumped and tomorrow is that night, that's when I would like to see the press conference. So, I really wish with two major networks, they would have thought ahead and said, this is a final press conference. Everybody just take your seats, instead of having them line up to begin the press conference. They haven't seen each other in weeks or whatever it's been, and they start pushing and shoving each other. That, whoever scripted that, it didn't need to happen like that. Wilder should have sat in his seat. Jay Diaz and Shelly Finkel sat in their seat. Tyson Fury. Why? The first thing you did is have them walk up. So, it's just, to me, it's just weak. I like boxing, but boxing, they want to pussify my sport. Man, I remember Marco Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales' classic trilogy. They started punching each other up, at the press conference. Boxing is different. Evander Holyfield, actually not Holyfield, Lennox Lewis got in a scuffle with Hakeem Rockman in the ESPN studio, and they start tearing the place up. Mike Tyson bit Lennox Lewis's leg or something. It's just, boxing is different. It's a beautiful sport, and people want to see it. I remember when I covered Mayweather versus Conor McGregor, that face-off was money. I was loving that. This is a heavyweight fight. Like, this ain't the little dude. This ain't like dudes, 150 and 122. This is the heavyweight. Out of all divisions, this is what people pay for. They want to see. So, I understand what they're saying, but look, they conducted themselves. And the other thing is this, the other reason I'm not okay with it is because I could understand a stern warning, don't touch each other. The UFC, Dana White tells the guys, don't touch this man, don't do nothing. And he stands in the way, and, they're not going to punch Dana White up trying to get to the other person. And beyond that, these fighters know they're in a colossal fight. I know people have emotions and stuff like that, but bro, you have to be a real idiot if you create some kind of altercation that ends this before all you have to do is wait till tomorrow. So I don't think Wilder or Fury are that crazy to mess up their money to the point where, they push them and they trip over the scale and, fall and break their ankle. You know what I'm saying? So I think, the Nevada State Athletic Commission is just trying to be preventative. and, you know, show, oh, we're a real sport. But I like this. Like, look at this. This is Charlo and Harrison. That's what sold the fight. That's why Charlo Harrison, another reason why it did so great ratings wise on Fox, because people was checking for it. I was at that fight too. You know, the energy, the tension, you know, finger pointing, all this. People get into that, you know, especially casual fans and stuff. And now we don't get a, you know, look. See, just they're not even doing nothing, but just seeing. I don't know. I'm old school, so just when I was at this weigh-in too. Just being at the weigh-in and seeing them look blank into each other's souls. Don't take that from boxing. And again, you can't compare this to NBA and all this other stuff. Those are team sports. You don't have face-offs. Why would LeBron James and, you know, Dame Lillard need to face off? You know, it's just. It doesn't make sense. And the UFC, some of their best moments for like before the actual fight are the face-offs as well. So, you know, I hope they don't get to this point where two guys have tension and, you know, they try to make it all sissified, like where you can't say anything. And beyond that is like, I get you don't want people to get hurt. First of all, the crowd's not going to get, I don't even know why they said the endangerment of the fans. Like, you know, You just can't control the world like that. I was at Gervonta Tank Davis fight in the Gamboa and a little mini riot. It's just what it was. So what, are we gonna not do face-offs anymore? You never know with boxing. But the fans, I don't even think they'll ever. You know, I've been to the MGM Grand, covered several weigh-ins. And I don't really see how the stage is like super far from where the media. Like the media is the closest. We're the closest to the action. The fans are like on the sides and stuff, way in the rafters and, you know, up these bleacher type seats. So how are the fans gonna get affected by this, you know? And we've seen all types of stuff in combat sport. Conor McGregor throwing Monster energy drinks, you know, that could hurt a fan more than them facing off. So I don't like the decision, you know, because this is one of the major selling points. I was at this fight, you know, this was a moment. You see how they have security holding them, you know, Virgil Hunter holding his man, you know, security dude holding Wilder. Yeah, handcuff them, shit, you know, put them in handcuffs so they can't swing. I'll be okay with that because it is a face-off. Was it you go headbutt someone until they get the fight? You know what I'm saying? Handcuff them. That's a great idea. Listen, you heard it here first. Because Wilder in Brazil and Wilder Fury, these are big dudes. Handcuff them. And then if they headbutt each other and create a cut, then they just stupid. If you're going to mess up your money like that, you're just dumb. You know what I'm saying? So I would be okay with even something like that. Have a partition, have someone in between them. Handcuff them or something if you really can't trust them. You know, it just wasn't that serious. Wilder pushed Fury pushed the other dude back. And then, like I said, look at the harm and punishment they're going to inflict on each other potentially in the fight. Boxing is its own sport. You got to treat it as such. I don't like it, not for a big fight like this. It just zaps away some of the energy. And also for the photographers, part of it is like shooting out 60 snapshots and photos that they did of Tyson Fury and Wilder or whatever the fight is. You know, so I just don't like them changing the mood of it. I understand safety and all this other stuff, but I don't think it was that serious. And these guys are going to be punching each other's face up tomorrow or the next day anyway. So I think sometimes people have a position of power and they want to, you know, flex their power, be authoritative, and yeah, we're setting a standard. We're going to make an example. This ain't the fight for that, to make an example out of. And beyond that, okay, they don't push each other to face it. They've been calling each other names, saying Phil Florin and Phil at the press conference. So, you know, like you compare this to other sports. In the NBA, you don't really see Steph Curry being like, oh yeah, this bleep, bleep, bleep. This person, it's just a different league, a different organization. And like, miss me with the this is a major league sport. You know what I'm saying? Because with the face-off thing, because it sounds pretty and it sounds good on paper, but miss me with it because there's these drug addicts that be shooting up and putting needles in their ass and still fighting 6 months later, a year later, fines, no fines, coming back, getting signed to promotional deal. So if this is Major League Sports, then we got to be Major League Sports all the way around. You know, how is Chavez Jr. get rejected from 2 states, fighting a whole nother state? You know, if we want to make this a Major League sport, how about that type of stuff? Or these judges' scorecards that are horrible. You know what I'm saying? Let's be Major League Sports all the way around. You know, when people fail multiple drug tests, then ban them for life. Because if you're in the NFL and you keep failing drug tests, you're going to be out the league in no time. Or like there's baseball players that get, you know, failed drug tests. They be banned for the whole season and stuff like that. You know, they be banned for a year or two. So, you know, you guys got to miss me with that. You know, they trying to soften up my sport. They try to treat my sport like froyo. If we're going to be Major League Sport and you want to compare us to organizations, let's organize. Let's do like the NBA and have a governing body and say, hey, you off the judge team because all your scorecards is trash. All the scorecards that you know, doing. Or so we could get these fights happening. Let's get these fights cracking, you know, and like say, hey, you must fight him. We ain't doing no franchise champion. Fight your mandatory. Canelo fight against Jamal Charlo or Triple G or whoa. Yeah. So if this is a major league sport, let's treat it like a major league sport. Because in the NBA, the best teams at the end of the season face each other. The NFL, the Super Bowl, the top 2 teams, the Niners and the KC Chiefs, they face each other in the Super Bowl. So how about that? You know, when the fans were clamoring for all these fights and we can't get them because of politics, what about where's the Major League Sports element of that? Like, oh, we're a Major League Sports, so we have to be conducted as such. There's just boxing is full of it, bro. It's full of it. There's a lot of these little nuanced things, and hey, we want to be recognized like a major sport. There's so much other stuff other than banning a face-off that you would have to clean up. PED usage and their punishment, judges perpetually getting jobs, and for major fights, they're scoring horrible scorecards that nobody can identify with. You know, people going outside of the rules, you know, fights not happening because of politics and people evading and ducking and all types of stuff. So I'm not liking it. It sounds good in a perfect world, but guess what? Boxing is a beautiful sport, but it ain't a perfect world. That's my time. We unpack. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.